Hello again. This is Jan Gensel Bates, and the next part of our skincare class, this is about the actual opening. Once you have, we explained in the other one about setting up your 3 stations with your table, your sink, and your the part where you're going to do the close, like you're going to set up the sofa area where you're going to do the closing. Now this is about the opening of the class. So we're just going to talk about, so you've got everything set up. All the guests have arrived, and what you are going to do is have all the guests find their seat, and then they can complete the rest of the questions on the skincare profile on the front side only. They will complete the rest of the information, because when you took the information from your hostess, you didn't get all the information, like their birthday, and you didn't get, maybe you might have their home address, or you might just have their cell phone. You might not have their email. So anyway, they need to complete the rest of this for you, and you just ask them to do that. One of the things that it doesn't have on here that I just want you to know that I will ask them to write on the bottom is their eye color. It used to be that our customer profile cards had their eye color on it, and they would write the eye. Now they ask for concerns about the eye area, but I asked them to write on their, actually you can have them write their eye color and their hair color. I know hair color can change. It's just good information for me right now, though, especially when I get ready to do their second appointment. If I have that information, it helps me a little bit. And since the customer profile no longer has it, I do recommend that you ask them to write that on there as well on the front, okay? And so they come in, they sit down, they find their name card with their tray, they then sit down and they complete the rest of this. Now it's time to get started, right? Now this is the time when all eyes are going to be on you, and you're going to be talking. And I want you to know that there's a couple things that people say, well, they're worried about talking in front of a lot of people. That's one of the things that they're nervous about. And usually it's because they're afraid of stumbling. They're afraid of saying something wrong. And this is where you just have to say to people, you know what? I'm brand new, and you're helping with my training, and I really appreciate it. So if I make a few mistakes or I seem a little nervous, it's just because of that. However, I want you to know, if you tell people I seem nervous, then they are going to go, yep, she's nervous, and you're going to be thinking about being nervous. So what I want you to do is be careful with your words, and be careful with saying, I feel nervous, because if you say that, there's no other way to be but nervous. And I don't want you to be nervous, because if you're focused on just having some fun with these ladies, if you're focused on what you can do to make their skin feel beautiful, if you're focused on what you can do for them, there's absolutely no reason to be nervous, because there's no way to do it wrong. If you are focused on the customer, there is no way to be wrong, because you don't, and so you don't have to worry about that. Promise? No saying nervous. All right, now it's time to get started. And the way that I have the opening already written out in the book. Now, what I want you to know is this. The company has spent a lot of time putting together this flip chart. They have beautiful pictures for us, and they have words on the back that all you do is set it up, and you only have to read it. So here's the deal. It's vitally important that you read this out loud, not to yourself, but out loud, a minimum of 3 to 5 times, start to finish, all the way through, so that you hear your voice saying it out loud. What I know is that when you read it in your head, it's not the same as when you hear your voice actually say it out loud. And when you practice any words or any scripts, you have to promise me that you'll practice it out loud so that you can hear your own voice. It will seem more natural to you to say all the words. And a lot of times people say, well, you know, those words aren't really me. Well, it's because you haven't said them enough, that's all. And they weren't all me in the beginning either. But you know what? I practiced and I practiced and I practiced and I practiced out loud so I could hear my own voice, because I can read something and it can sound very like, whoa. And then I can read it again. And then I can, oh, that's what it sounds like. So then I read it again. And then I can put more inflection into my voice. Then I can laugh, or I can smile. I can have some fun, because if you have fun with this, I promise everybody else will have fun too. And what they came there for was fun, because they're not at their real job, and they're coming to play in some makeup. They're coming to make their skin feel good. They're coming to have you just show them some new products. So they're coming to have some fun, and girl, you got to have some fun with them, right? And if you're having fun, they're having fun. And so here's the thing about an opening. Here's the thing about the opening is that it's the time to set the mood. When you start out, you're going to be setting the mood, and people are going to, if you're welcoming everybody and you're saying hello to everybody, and at this point of the party, when you get there and you're doing that, quit thinking about yourself, because everybody, I heard that Jan Thetford, I'm going to give her credit for this, because she's the one that says it a lot. National Sales Director Jan Thetford, my friend, says that, everybody's always worried about what people are thinking about you. And you know what? They're not thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves. And so they're not thinking about you. So don't worry about it, right? Okay. So the skincare class opening, it's the time to set the mood for the event. Everyone will know exactly what to expect in the beginning. And when they know the agenda, they're going to feel more comfortable, right? If everybody kind of like, this is what we're going to do. So you actually are beginning, as I mentioned before, you're beginning your close during the opening of the party. When you have the guests introduce themselves, be sure to look them in the eye. So if I say Susie, or I just, I look at her, so please introduce yourself. And when I do that, I have to look straight at her until she's finished talking. No matter what's going on around out here, stay focused on her. And by doing that, if she is very insecure herself, sometimes they won't look at you. But if she does look up at you and you're not looking at her, you've lost it, because then she thinks, well, you asked me a question and you're not even interested in my answer. So it's really important. Mary Kay told us that no matter what, look her in her right eye and just stay focused on her with a smile, and she will believe that you're interested in what she has to say. But if you look away for a minute, then that's bad news. And I got to tell you a quick story, because this is so funny. One time I was so intent on what this, I had asked the lady to introduce herself, and I was like, I am not going to look away from her. And I could hear something behind me. But I wasn't going to look away or look to see what it was. And the lady had a dog, and it was a big dog. And I'm not big. I'm short. I'm only 4'11". And this dog came up behind me and put its nose in and it literally lifted me off the ground. Everybody had a great laugh at it, but I was not looking away from her eyes, because she was introducing herself, and I wasn't going to look away. So it was pretty humorous, I have to say. Okay. And then, the other thing is, as soon as they finish introducing themselves, then this is an important say. Always say, thank you, Susie. Use their name back. So thank you, Susie. It's a pleasure to meet you. And it's always important. The more times you repeat their name, like I said, the more times you bond with them, the more you you can just remember who they are, and it makes them feel important. So it's really important. Memorize as much as possible on the first page, as it will help you feel more confident also. And you'll look more personable and a little more professional. But if you don't have it memorized, just do it and read it until you do get it memorized. And you do want to act like you're reading it, believe it or not, even if you haven't memorized, so that others can believe that they can do this too. And we always want to make it, the whole presentation, we wanted to make it look easy. And I just, it's like, I think you got to be careful, because there's a balance between it. So yes, I know what I say on my page, and I want to go back to the flip chart for a second. So Mary Kay spent a lot of money putting this together and giving us words. And I have a document that I will probably give to you as a new consultant that has my words in it, because I've taken the time to kind of customize a few things in the order I go in and all of that I want you to have my extra words so that you can feel confident, because Mary Kay puts out It's got a lot of bullet points, and so you have to kind of come up with some things on your own. And I wanted you to have my words as well. And it kind of just all goes in together with my presentation. Do you have to use my words? Absolutely not. If you want to use your own, I'm good to go. It's just, if you want to use your own flip chart, that's good too. I just have my training in here so that you can have all of the words that I say, so that you can know what I do and how I do it. So let's go ahead and get started. And I want you to know the one thing that I want to have on my table already before I actually say hello and begin, the one thing that I forgot to mention that you want to also have on your table is just some kind of thing. This is just tissue paper. You can just do tissue paper and a pink ribbon and put it on, and you can put in a travel size hand cream. You can put a full size hand cream. You can put just something little in it. It's like a thank you gift for the hostess. So that, if you make it look cuter than this one I've used over and over for things to show. So it's really good. It should look cuter than this. Okay. So let's begin today. And hello, my name is Jan Gensel Bates, and I would love to welcome you here today. I'm so excited that you have joined us today because you're going to try our awesome products. Did you know that we are a global powerhouse in skincare and color cosmetics? So my goals, I have 3 goals today. My 3 goals today, number 1, are for you to have so much stinking fun that it's a great time. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, that you learn something new. And number 3 is that we get our hostess Susie here, that we get her the most hostess gifts and free products, and because you all fall in love with these powerhouse products, okay? So we're going to start by getting to know you a little bit. So let's do some introductions. Please share your name, what you do for work, and one thing that you love about Susie, our awesome, fabulous hostess today. So if you'll go ahead and start, and you just I kind of go like this and point to somebody and just say if you would like to begin, and it's like your name. Oh, great. And then you say, you know, what do you do for work? Oh, you're secretary. Great. Okay. And then what is one sugar sweet thing that you just love about Susie? And you let her talk, and you go, aw, isn't that nice? And Susie's blushing and going, oh. And so then you go to the next person, and then the next person, and you go all the way around. And then when they finish, you say, thank you. It is such a pleasure to meet all of you. And I would love to thank and honor Susie, our hostess today, because I really appreciate my hostesses so much, because without them, I just wouldn't be able to build my business, and it's an incredible business. So a special thank you to you. Susie, here's just a little token of my appreciation for bringing us all together, and here you go, and you hand her the gift. And she will have the opportunity to earn free or discounted products based on the sales and the bookings that she receives today. The sales can come from the party today, as well as friends and coworkers who couldn't attend. And Susie had a bunch of girls at work that couldn't attend, so she got a few extra outside orders. Plus, when 2 of you book your own party, she will receive a special bonus today, okay? I'll share all the details in a little bit so you'll know how it all works. And I want you to ask questions anytime throughout this. And and this is how you can really help me. I'm in a special training right now to see if we can get through our presentation in about an hour, while giving you all the information you need and sample these powerhouse products. So who would volunteer to be my timekeeper? And about every 15 minutes, just give me a nod. And I found that if you've got a real chatty group, this will keep that down. I find that and I used to wear a watch all the time, you know, because we used to wear watches, and I would flip it off and I would hand it to the person who would be my timekeeper. And it keeps me on track, and it keeps them on track. And it's like they then know that we want to get through this part of the presentation within about an hour. Okay. So I'd like to explain to you how I run my business. When we finish today, should you decide to become my customer, we will set up a follow-up appointment within about 2 weeks, because today I will prescribe a skincare regimen that's just for you guys, and it's in the formula that you would need just for you. And then we'll know within about 2 weeks if we've made the right choices on all of the products. Okay? All right. So let me share a few tidbits before we apply the products. I want to, I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to stop. Okay. So I have done my presentation the same way for many years, and I tried doing it a different way, and it just didn't sync with me. So here's what I found. I found that if we just do the introductions, they got to talk, right? They just got to talk, and they all got to share, and they all get to tell us why Susie was so special. And a lot of times we make Susie cry because everybody says nice things about her, and then we kind of make her cry. And so, all right. So at this point, we've introduced, we've talked about, you know, what we're going to do, and that we can get hostess credit, hopefully. And then we are going to, I'm going to give them some tidbits, and then I'm going to get everybody up and go to the sink, get everybody with their water products, their face washed off and all of that. And then we're going to come back and sit down. And then I'm going to very quickly have them put the rest of the products that are in their tray on their face. This is what I've learned for me, is that when I take too long in the beginning and they still haven't tried any products, they stop listening. And there's stuff in here that I want them to hear. So I find that they stop listening. And I want them to listen to me, of course, okay? So if I get them, they all get to talk, then they go to the sink, and we're kind of all talking there. And then we sit down, and I have them put the products on their face real quick, and then their hand cream. I find that they, then when I get ready to talk about the products and do the stuff, I have their attention better. That's my personal preference. And so I've got my words set up that I've got it in the flip chart where you can just keep flipping the pages like the company says to, with the right pictures on the front. But I've got some of the wording switched around because I just like to get up from the table right then. It's too messy for me at the table. I line them up around the like in an arc or by the sink, and I just go squirt, squirt, squirt. 1, 2, 3, however many people. Keep going, okay? And I just keep rotating them around and tell them what to do and kind of moving them around, and they all get their time at the sink to rinse off and to do, and it just seems to work really well for me. So I use satin hands, satin lips, and the cleanser at the sink. If I'm doing microdermabrasion, I would do that, the first step of that at the sink, and then keep your washcloth, come and sit down. Now, I've been doing a lot more charcoal mask than I have microdermabrasion because when you do the charcoal mask, it's supposed to sit for 10 to 20 minutes. While that's sitting, then I can do more talking, okay? All right, now, I want to back up and go back into that page, because you'll find in my words, I have 2 little boxes that I have on there that says you will not read these paragraphs. If there is a need after introductions because of a negative person or someone already has a consultant, then here are the words you can use. And National Sales Director Linda Tupin is someone who I've mentored with for a long time, and she gave me some value. It's a paragraph. It was the most valuable paragraph that I've had given, like just as a paragraph. But this was really important. So here's what it is. If someone is very negative at the party, what you can do is you can say, just look at that person and go, wow, you're a better woman than I am. Because if I would have had that type of experience with Mary Kay, I'd have probably never, ever come back. So you're definitely a better woman than I am. And then you look at the hostess and you say, Susie, you have a really good friend right there. It takes away all the negative. It just stops it. Because what we have a tendency to do is defend, and you can't defend. When somebody is negative, do not defend. What you want to do is just say, wow, you're a better woman than I am. If I would have had that experience, I'd have never, ever come back to Mary Kay. Then you look at the hostess and you say, you have a really good friend right there. And here's what it does. It changes it all around in that it says to the one lady, she's like, yeah, I am a better woman than you are. And it says to the hostess, you've got a really good friend. And negative Nellie over there is going, yeah, I am a good friend. And the hostess is going, yes, and thank you for being a good friend. It just changes the whole outcome when you've had somebody negative or had a negative experience. When you say that word, do not defend and don't say anything other than that paragraph. Now, if you have someone at your party and they have a consultant already, but they came to support Susie because Susie goes to their church. So what you then say is, you know what? We're a sisterhood of consultants. So today you can purchase whatever you want to help Susie with her hostess credit. And I know how much your consultant values you though. So I will ask you to continue with her after today. Again, solves everything. She's already got a consultant. You're not going to steal your girlfriend's consultant because in Mary Kay, we're a sisterhood. So you just basically say that. We're a sisterhood of consultants. And today you can purchase anything you want to help Susie, but I know how much your consultant values you. So I want you to, so I'm going to just direct you back to her after today. But thanks for coming. You see, that takes care of all of it. So that's the opening, and that can do so much. And especially when you're organized and you feel organized, putting your 3 stations together and your table is all organized, and then you get the opening. And if you practice this, that one page, that first page, practice it and practice it and practice it so that you feel very comfortable with it. And when you do that, you will then find that the whole presentation goes smoother, you feel more confident, and everybody then can have fun because they're there to have fun. Have a great one.